But she couldn't deny that the spark was still there, would probably always be there. Standing there in his kitchen, Chuck looking so good barefoot and shirtless in jeans that it should have been illegal, she felt her body aching for him. She sensed the urge in him, too. She saw it in the way his tongue flashed over his lips while he stared at her, chest heaving from all the shouting. Even though they just had each other, they could never get enough, even if it killed them both. They were fire and gasoline, or they had become as much. Back when they'd met, when Olivia had come to interview him for an actor spotlight feature in Mix, the entertainment magazine she wrote for, there'd been an instant spark. She'd found herself agreeing to a date that same night and immediately passed the interview assignment to someone else because she knew after one afternoon with him that they had no shot at a professional relationship. The spark quickly exploded into an all-consuming addiction of fighting and making up that she'd tried and failed to kick multiple times over the past 6 months. But Chuck was so loyal that extracting him from her life left Olivia considering calling an exorcist. If she was honest, though, it was as much him not leaving as it was her not letting him go. Until now. "I can't believe you didn't show up," she shouted, her renewed anger back to boiling now that her blood had stopped speeding from being tangled up on the floor with him. "I was busy," he said, repeating his useless defense from earlier. Olivia scoffed and folded her arms. "You knew about the party for weeks, Chuck. You had plenty of time to plan." Memory of the disappointed look on her beloved grandmother's face from the night before stabbed her in the heart all over again. "I reserved a special room at her favorite restaurant. I even got permission to invite her best friend from the care home. You were supposed to be there, but instead left me alone with 2 octogenarians wearing their best pearls and wondering why they'd been stood up." He flinched at each truth she volleyed at him. Instead of listening to his excuses last night when he finally called, hours later, she showed up at his apartment bright and early this morning to give him a piece of her mind. She ended up giving him her body, too, but that was neither here nor there. What mattered was that it was the final straw, and they were done. Over. No more Olivia and Chuck. "What was so important that you skipped my grandmother's birthday party?" she asked, knowing his response would not measure up. Not unless he'd been rescuing kittens from a burning building and donating AB negative blood to save lives at the same time. "I had a last-minute audition," Chuck said. He lifted his arms and let them fall at his sides. Olivia glared at him. It was plausible, since they'd gone to dinner while the sun was still high in the sky, to suit the guest of honor's meal schedule. And she knew Chuck had been struggling to find work lately because of the recent incident that had given him the reputation of being difficult on set, so he was likely to jump on any opportunity he had. A moment of weakness got the best of her. "Did you get the part?" Chuck chewed his lip and silently stared at the floor in response. Olivia instantly regretted her sympathy and went back to fury. "Ark," she growled and snatched her denim shorts off the floor to step back into them. "Where are you going?" Chuck called after her when she marched for the front door. "Away from you, once and for all," she said, and wrenched open the door. He followed her and took their argument into the hallway. "Liv, I said I'm sorry for missing the party. I'll write Grandma Ruby an apology letter. I'll send her flowers. She whirled on him and shouted, "You can't fix this, Chuck!" She turned and jammed her finger into the elevator button. Thoughts of taking the stairs to get away from him faster tempted her, but 10 stories seemed like 9 too many in that moment. "You always do this. You're so obsessed with your career that you can't see beyond your own nose. You forget there are other people in the world, namely me." She reached out and pressed her palm to his bare chest to prevent him from following her as he was wont to do. The brief contact was regrettably pleasant, and she told herself it would be the last time she ever touched Chuck Walsh. Chuck had different ideas because he followed her into the elevator when it arrived anyway. "That's not fair, Olivia. You know I'm killing myself to make it in this industry."